Welcome back to another episode of What Are We Watching? Howdy, Keith. What's up, man?
Howdy, Nicholas.
I don't know why I started that with howdy. That was kind of weird.
No, it was cool.
It wasn't.
No?
All right. Next week, we're covering my retirement. Just kidding.
Oh, you're just skipping this week.
Yeah, I'm just going to skip
Okay,
this week.
That's fine.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. You got a nice haircut. It looks good.
I did.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the story about the haircut?
No.
I meant to tell you before we started recording, but the dude that cut my hair was visibly on something the whole time. He kept like pacing around and like sniffling a lot, and he just kept saying, "Nobody does it like me, dude. Nobody." And then he would like come up and cut my hair, and then he'd like walk away, and he was pacing back. It was. I'll tell you the whole story when we're done, but it was. I am convinced it wasn't real, and then I was being punked.
But you got it. I mean, he did it.
He did it. Yeah, he did a good job, but like at what cost?
Well, I mean, this is day what? You did that Thursday,
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so it's been a couple days.
and it still looks good. It looks
Yeah,
fresh.
he did. Maybe seek out someone who's under the influence to cut your hair.
You know, you got a little bit. Got your ears lowered a little bit. Looks good.
Yeah, my ears lowered.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You've never heard that?
No.
Oh, you got your haircut? Nah, I got my ears lowered. You never heard that?
That's so dumb.
I mean, yeah, but I just figured.
I like that, though.
I
That's
figured
pretty
you would
funny.
know that. Well, I don't know.
Me of all.
Yeah, you wear
Because I
glasses.
wear glasses. Great. Yeah. So other than that, nothing crazy. I did watch a couple movies though.
You did.
In a shocking turn of events. I feel like I've been watching a lot of TV shows. We talked about. I watched Jarhead.
Oh yeah,
That was very good.
that was a good movie.
10 out of 10. Nah.
What did you
8,
say? 10? I'm sorry.
10
I
out of
coughed.
10.
I did like a, and I missed the first. You said.
I said it was a 10 out of 10, but I disagree.
Oh, okay.
8.5 out of 10.
So if I didn't cough and say what, you were just gonna go with 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cough made me reevaluate my
8.5
life
out of
choices a
10.
little bit.
Okay.
8.5 out of 10. And then I watched the Karate Kid.
Oh wait, which one? The Karate Kid or the Karate Kid?
The Karate Kid.
Oh, see. Okay.
the other one. Yeah, no, I watched the OG Karate Kid. That's just a good movie all around.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, I don't know why I turned it on, but I was like, this is what needs to happen today. But what about you? Did you watch anything?
Have you seen Cobra Kai?
I have.
Okay.
They did a good job.
I
with
didn't
that.
finish that, but I watched most of the first season. I think.
Yeah, they did a good job with
It's
it.
good.
I liked all that they like have a lot of the main characters back again. It's pretty good. Does the
Yeah.
job.
I think I need to finish that because it's just enjoyable.
Yeah.
Right. It is.
It is. Are we enjoying it?
Are we enjoying it? All right. So you got your.
I think officially, yes.
So those are watches for you.
Yes.
Do you have any passes?
No.
No passes. You just
No.
you just watch gold only.
I just. I have such confidence in my own taste that it's all good.
Okay. That's
All
good.
right. Next week we're gonna be.
Is this the haircut?
It's the haircut. Yeah, I have a new lease on life. But then we watched. You and I went to go see a couple movies. No, we saw one movie together.
We did see one together.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bonus episode
Oh,
coming
so
up.
that's a real cliffhanger. Just no
Huge cliffhanger.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and it wasn't Barbie or Oppenheimer, so don't get excited.
Oh my oh shit! My
I'm just
memory.
kidding.
Like I know I have onset dementia, but Jesus.
Oh my God. No, that's it. That's what we watched.
Okay. I was like, oh no, I'm because I have been misremembering things. And I was
Yeah.
like, if this is another thing I forgot that we just straight up went to the movies.
This is going to be the last thing you forget.
Yeah.
How do you think this one's going so far?
Not great. Should I go for my my movie picks?
Sure. Yeah,
All right. So I watched this movie, The Frighteners. It's actually a Peter Jackson movie, starring Michael J. Fox as he's a crack.
He's a crack. He's a rock of.
I'm trying to think of the word for it, but he's like a Ghostbuster pretty much. He comes in.
Oh yeah, didn't you call him like a half-ass Ghostbuster or something?
Well, he's
Like
he's
a
not
phony Ghostbuster?
Yeah, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a crackpot?
Crackpot Ghostbuster.
Okay.
And he basically, but he can. So you find out that he can actually see spirits. So he like brings these two guys.
So he is like a Ghostbuster.
Kind of, but he brings them to the house to mess stuff up.
Oh,
So they're like doing
it's like
all this wild
he's
stuff.
buddies with
so
the
he basically
ghosts.
like possesses the house, but with
Oh.
his.
So he's friends with the ghosts. Is that?
Yeah.
So he's
and
like, "Yo, boys,
I
I
will
got
say
another
this is
job for
it's
you."
a movie that the rules of ghosts and not in ghosts really don't make sense.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. I promise.
You're gonna be okay.
It's like if you like Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, Casper, and then I'm not gonna spoil why, but then there's a little hint of like Natural Born Killers thrown into that.
Okay.
And it's Peter Jackson doing it, who had
what year was that?
This is 96. So he had like a whole career before Lord of the Rings, which I love his, like he has Bad Taste, which is his first one, and then Brain Dead.
I thought that wasn't the name of a movie, and you were like, oh, this is terrible.
No.
It's like movies.
It's like a really lo-fi. He has a dual role where he's playing two guys that are in a conflict in the same scene.
Yeah.
And it's basically like his first film, and it's like an alien invasion kind of movie, but it is awesome. And
is that a watch?
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, but like I'm just saying, Frighteners is definitely a watch.
It's definitely a watch. Yeah.
But Bad Taste and Brain Dead. If you haven't seen Brain Dead, that movie is awesome.
Nice. Yeah. I have not seen that movie. No, I know of that one, but
yeah, that one is just a fun movie. The gore is like insane, but it's like fun. It's like there's just like the most wild, gooey, like the Thing style like nastiness, but it's like.
But you're having a good time along the way.
Yeah, it's like a comedy.
That's
like,
good.
It's like if you took The Evil Dead, but then like gave it just like gooey, gross, like even
more gore than Evil Dead.
To me, it feels like it.
I'll have to watch that one.
Just like there's just way more people getting just
annihilated.
Yeah. Anyway, so Frighteners.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good movie. Good movie. And have you watched anything else?
Let's see. So Frighteners we watched. I did watch Dunkirk.
Oh, that movie's great. Yeah.
Because there was two Nolans I hadn't seen, Dunkirk and Tenet.
Yeah.
So Dunkirk I watched. That movie's awesome. I feel like people were telling me they didn't like it, so I was like, I feel like
people who like war movies are like, this was dumb.
What? And I'm like, it's a great war movie. That's the thing.
I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
I think people that like war movies, but they want like a narration of everything that's happening, and
they want Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, but
is what they want.
Saving Private Ryan is like, it's a great story based on a true story, but it's like, it's almost like a novelization, like a, you know what I mean? Like, there's somebody telling you what's happening the whole time. Yeah. Dunkirk is kind of like a bunch of scenes that are all coming together. And there's really limited dialogue, and I think it's a cool movie.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job.
And it's a story I would never have known about.
Yeah,
so I was like,
I think that one scene. So I meant to talk to you about this. You were saying you were going to watch that movie, but you know the scene where he's laying in the sand, and all the artillery's dropping and stuff like that. That's one of the best. That's probably the best shot in that whole film.
It's crazy.
It's good. It's really good.
And
that Nolan sure knows what he's doing.
I know he's building tension. Like all the storylines are coming together from all the different point of views, and he's got like crazy actors in like not crazy roles, which is cool.
Yeah, I did
like Cillian Murphy's in it, and he has it's a role, but he's like in it for a few minutes.
Yeah, for a couple seconds.
And same with what's his name, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bigger role, but they're not like on screen full dialogue.
Yeah. That was good.
But that was a good movie.
Nice.
And then I got one that's probably a watch for you, but a pass for everyone else. It's called The Ghost in the Darkness. This is another one that came out in '96, and this was Val Kilmer and
I'm already in.
Michael Douglas. And I'm only recommending this to you.
Is it a comedy movie or is it a horror? No.
I'm only recommending this to you because you like
glasses.
sci-fi movies. Oh. And we were talking about it. You're like, oh, dude, you got to watch Sabretooth. Well,
this
movie's about lions. It's not really sci at all. No sci-fi. But
it's just fi.
He basically is a bridge builder that has to go to Africa and build a bridge.
Yeah.
And then they have a lion problem where these two lions are just like coming and causing chaos and wrecking their whole town.
You were telling I remember you were telling me about this.
I was telling you. So this is definitely a watch for you. It's just,
is it because I've been trying to push that movie Sabretooth on you a lot?
I don't know.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that?
No, I haven't yet.
I like rediscovered a list of, if anyone's out there remembers the Sci-Fi Channel used to make those like made for movie horror movies. I rediscovered a list of them. They had like way too many of them. But yeah, I used to watch those all the time. So check out Sabretooth if you don't want a good movie to watch. Or maybe you do. I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah,
let's just dump that.
For that movie, the lion sequences are awesome. Like it's wild. The lion sequence. The plot, is it great?
Nah.
You
know.
You'll probably hate it, but
yeah, that's pretty good.
So Frighteners and Dunkirk, watch Ghosts of the Darkness. Probably
just get out of here.
Unless, well, I mean, some people like just
Yeah.
wildly not great things that somehow are kind of fun to watch. So
that's fair. All right. So yeah, I feel like that was like a good spread of movies right there.
Yeah.
What did you want to talk about? So what are we going to get into for this episode?
Oh, well, this is like your kind of movie because you wear glasses. We're watching The Sandlot, or we watched The Sandlot.
We watched Sandlot.
Yeah, it's on right now actually. So we're just gonna step through this.
Yeah, so if you guys
minute.
could shut up, that we'd appreciate.
Yeah, we're watching it, so don't.
Can you imagine the next like 2 hour or hour and a half? It's just like you hear a little bit of the audio in the background,
and just like. Oh, that part was funny, and then you describe it.
Man, I can't believe he did that. And everyone's just like, this is the shittiest thing I've ever seen.
All right, so we watched The Sandlot.
The Sandlot. And yeah, you kept saying this is a movie for you because you wear glasses. Like, I would know what you're talking about.
No, just because...
You're like, no, obviously. No,
Squints wears glasses. I don't know. I mean, I'm just joking.
You said that from the first... It's a good bit. You were like, yeah, no, but you get it. And I was like, I don't.
No, yeah, I don't. It doesn't make any sense. People that wear glasses and don't wear glasses...
They can like or not like The Sandlot. Yeah. We don't judge.
For some reason, I was like, this is just a Nick movie. I don't know why.
Because he wears glasses.
He wears glasses.
They look like squints. Yeah, so The Sandlot. Do you have the cast? Did you have who is in this? There's like a lot of people. I'm trying to...
It's a lot of child actors that really don't appear.
Do you have like actor and then who they played? Like what person?
I did have it up, but I moved tabs here, and I can't remember why I moved tabs.
Oh, my goodness.
There we go.
Yeah, this one we had to pull up because normally it's like starring one person, but this one it's like it's a lot of people going on. So yeah, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so we have so I'm assuming most people have seen this movie, but we have our starting lineup of the Sandlot baseball team. Yeah, and we have Scotty Smalls, but he's not officially a member at the beginning of the movie. Tom Guiri, I'm going with that.
Yeah, Tom Guiri plays.
I'm going to say that's how you say his last name.
I'll do it. If you're out there, Tom, hit us up.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Mike Vitar, going right? Sound right?
Sure.
As Benny or Benjamin Franklin Rodriguez.
Or Benny the Jet Rodriguez. But we're not going to do that.
No, we're not? Oh, I thought, okay.
We really should have talked about that before. I just tried to be like, oh, he'll get it.
Benny and the Jets. Is that what you were trying to do there?
That's what I was trying to do. But Benny. I was trying to do it as like, oh, obviously I'll start it, and then we'll both fade in, and then Sable, my dog, will come over and be like, I see what you guys are doing.
I couldn't tell if you were just like
if fumbling. I was just struggling a little bit. Yeah. No, I'm all right for now.
All right, and then Patrick Renna. Yeah, we'll go with Renna. That's Hamilton Porter or Ham, and he's great. You'll see him in The Big Green 2 years later. If you guys saw that one.
They really did his description dirty. They said that his description is overweight, short-tempered catcher.
I mean, that's what he is.
Damn. Yeah, he was also played a character called Cupcake in Glow, the wrestling movie with Mark Maron, which if you haven't seen that.
Is that the movie or is that a series?
That's a series.
Glow is a series. Okay. I was like, I know I've seen the first episode, but I didn't know.
Yeah. So he plays, he's just like a recurring character, but... yeah, who else we got? Who's up next?
And then you got
my boy
Squints. That's Nick's boy. Do you want to? That's Chauncey Leopardi.
Yeah,
going with that. Okay. And then Alan, McLennan, played by Marty York. Some of these people I don't think are in anything after this.
Yeah, I think this was like
and
one
then
and done.
Kenny the Heater DeNunes, played by Brandon Quinton Adams. He's the pitcher. And what do we got here? We got Bertram Grover Weeks, played by Grant Gelt. See, these ones I don't think are in anything else. And then Timmy and Tommy Timmons, insane names, played by Victor DiMattia and Shane Obedzinski.
Obedzinski.
Okay, It doesn't matter because we're not going to talk about them. But I'm just kidding. No, but those guys. I swear Nick told me that he knows something about one of them knows one of them.
I don't know
in real life. Somebody in my life, and I was trying to figure it out last night while I was watching this, and I could not remember. Yeah. Somebody's like either knows one of the Timmons brothers in real life, like the actors, or like knows something of them that's wild, and I couldn't figure it out at all. And I figured it was Nick, but it's not him. So
no. The one fun thing that I do know about both of these actors, which I don't think I told you this, they were in The Sandlot.
Oh, dude, I thought you actually had something.
No.
Okay.
That was me. Your face like lit up. I felt bad.
Oh, he's gonna.
You're like, he's gonna reveal it that I'm not crazy. No.
Somebody that
it was not me.
I think it's somebody that wears glasses told me this. That's why I'm confused.
Is that obviously they've seen this a lot?
Well, Dennis Leary plays Smalls' stepdad, and James Earl Jones plays Mr. Myrtle, who you'll hear about. Those are like I think.
Oh, we
bigs.
forgot. Karen Allen plays Smalls' mom. Too.
He does. I don't know what that was. Please leave that alone.
Strange.
I don't know.
Oh, and then Marley Shelton plays Wendy Peppercorn. I just had to throw her in there.
That is your girl.
I don't know why.
Oh, sorry.
What?
Well,
I'm so sorry.
Hopefully Emily doesn't listen. I'm just kidding.
What if you just heard the episode just ends right here? You just heard just fumbling around. No, and then the episode just cuts out.
Oh, Wendy Peppercorn, huh?
God.
Okay,
that would be a good Halloween costume though. If I went as Squints and Emily went as Wendy Peppercorn.
So she's got to be a lifeguard, and you have to wear glasses,
and I have to wear a very small bathing suit.
Dude, we were talking about that bathing suit.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, that thing's a nightmare, dude. I don't know.
Could you imagine if you had to wear that as an adult?
Funny.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I cannot, and I would not imagine that because that's just terrifying. So that's the whole cast of characters, the whole team. The budget for this movie, $7 million, which I thought that was pretty good.
$7 million, yeah.
Yeah, because this came out in 1993. So budget was $7 million, and it made in the box office $34.3 million. So I would say it did very well. Did you want to talk about any of the characters before we dove into it?
No, I mean, we're gonna dive into the plot, and we can probably run through how we meet them all.
About it. So yeah, let's just. I'll get into the plot. I'll start. This is the plot, man. So it's the summer. It's 1962. So I didn't realize when I was watching this last night. I had no idea how old they were. I was like, these kids are either 5 or 19. No, that's not.
Okay. Well, Benny, who you meet first.
Yeah. So they're in 5th grade.
5th grade. So
fifth grade. How old were you in 5th grade?
7?
No.
Wait.
7?
Wait, 5th grade. No, I was thinking 2nd grade plus 5, 7. No, it's still 10, 9 or 10 or 11. That sounds.
They're
right.
13.
5th grade?
12, 13. Yeah. 5th grade. All right, let's do the math. Kindergarten, I was 5.
So 6 in
plus
first
5.
Grade, 7.
Oh, 10.
8,
Yeah.
9,
10, 11.
Yeah.
All right. I'm yeah, dude, they were 15. You got held back a lot.
I was going to say, you did.
No, I didn't.
If you were 13 in 5th grade,
No, I was not 13 in 5th grade.
Oh, yeah, that's Nick. He wears glasses.
He wears glasses. Let's keep him back.
Wait, does that mean he's smart or not? Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Not sure.
He's 13 in 5th grade. You do the math.
He's been just slamming that ball in his plastic glove in the back. Nobody wants him on his
god
team.
awful shit hat that he wears. Anyway,
he's got his weird polo fisherman hat on.
Yeah. So was Benny older? That was the other thing.
I don't know.
He looks older. He looks
genetically better than everybody, and
he looks
like he could play a sport. The rest of them are you're not sure.
Yeah.
It
looks like me.
Oh, because you wear glasses.
Because I wear glasses.
No, but Benny looks like an athlete.
Yeah, he does.
He moves like an athlete.
And he's the best one on the team, so I guess
he dresses
checks out.
10 times cooler than everybody.
Oh, 1,000%. The one thing that as we were watching this, all the outfits is shit I would wear today. It's it's a lot of it is pretty cool.
It's because they're bringing it back.
Bound out of bound. I don't know what that's. So anyway, summer of 1962. 5th grader Scott Smalls moves to there. This takes place in the San Fernando Valley. He basically is the new kid in town. School's over. He's kind of I almost said a loser, but that's really weird. That's super weird. He's just a shy new kid, and he's really worried that he's gonna have another summer inside basically. And his mom is super concerned for him too. So he basically meets up with at the beginning of the movie. He ends up following. He sees Benny Rodriguez. I guess it's a kid who lives in his neighborhood. He basically follows him and a group of his friends because they all go play baseball together. He basically is just trying to tag along. So this is where you're kind of introduced to everyone. They're at the Sandlot. You notice there's only 8 of them. And his big thing is I could be their 9th player. They would have a full team. But I think he's pretty reluctant to actually start talking with them. I think then doesn't Benny, I guess, is oh, hey, come play with us, basically.
Well, yeah. So he walks in the back. He walks like where he would be in center field, and he just like starts.
And he's just like loitering,
hitting his glove a little bit, and he's like looking, and then they hit a ball to him, right? And he doesn't know how to throw it.
Yeah.
So immediately he tries to throw it.
Well, yeah. Benny is like, "Hey man, come play with us," and all the other boys are like, "No, like look at this dweeb. Like, look what he's wearing. Like." And then he's like, all right, let's see what he's got. And so he throws the ball, or I guess he hits a ball to him, and he immediately just like whiffs it horribly. Yeah. That scene where he runs up, he's like, all right, he now throw it in, and then he runs the ball up to him.
Runs the ball all the way up, and he's like, you have to be kidding me.
Yeah, it was not great.
He brings it all the way back to the pitcher.
Yeah, and he's just looking at it. The kid's like, what the hell is this?
He's like, you have to be kidding me.
You're shitting me, aren't you?
So then his stepfather is Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
So you kind of have those scenes spliced in where he's like...
Yeah, he's like, when he's like back home, not with the boys, he's like... Apparently there's a running theme that his stepdad was supposed to be like teaching him how to play baseball.
But he'd rather do some sort of work at his...
It's very vague. He's like, yeah, I got a bunch of... work going on, and you're like, oh, okay.
But he also has this like insane baseball room. So you're like, oh well, yeah, you probably would teach your kid how to play baseball if you love baseball.
Yeah, no, that's not the case.
No. He's like, Bill, Dad,
yeah,
are you gonna teach me how to play catch yet?
And he's like, yeah, sport.
He says, yeah, sure, and then he just stares at him. The kid's like, okay,
and he's like, all right,
like, now or no? Here,
yeah, he's like, well, it's nighttime, so maybe we don't do it now. So he's basically beat. So his stepdad actually like tries to show him how to play, which do you hear the advice that he's giving him? He's like, Dad, can you teach me, or Bill/Dad, teach me how to play catch? And he's like, all right, so when you're going to throw it, just go ahead and throw it. And then when you catch it, just, put your glove up and just go ahead and catch it. And like, that's officially all of the advice that he gives him.
When we were watching it, his first throw, he just throws.
Oh, it's a fastball.
It's not like an underhand throw. Like, hey, just figure out how
the basics.
It fits into the glove. It's like an overhand throw.
No, man, like, businessman Bill gives him the full heater in the back.
He's like, Bill, if I was in the way, I would have lost an eye. And then eventually he puts his glove up. He teaches him how to put his glove up, but he puts it up right in front of his face.
Yeah.
He throws like a 60-mile-an-hour fastball down the pipe.
Oh, man. Bill's crying out in the backyard. Just
rocks him. Rocks him with the ball. Like,
well, his one advice was keep your eye on the ball, like no matter what. Just keep your eye on the ball.
And then he did, because the
ball
hit him in the eye.
And then he keeps his eye on the ball. So yeah, it just obliterates him. Goes right through his little shitty plastic glove that he has. And then he has like a really terrible black eye. And then he just smacks the steak on his eye. Bill, he's like, yeah, hold on.
Mom's like, get some ice, and he's like, I got these steaks. She's like,
we have to eat
dinner. He's just like, nah.
Boom. It was like, boom.
It's just like
the kid's eye. So yeah, he has a really bad, like terrible black eye. And then the next day, Benny actually like, so then I think we actually said that out of order, because then it's the next day when Benny's like, hey, come play with us. He gives him he has a glove, like a spare glove,
but he pulls it out of where an old dude at the Wawa would pull a newspaper out of his
crisp newspaper
right out of the back of his pants. He just has a glove. He's like, okay, this is where I keep my alternative.
This is where I warmed it up for you. So yeah, he gives him that. He blows it. He ends up sucking. But then Benny, which actually this shows like how that he's actually like a really good player. He's like, just hold your glove up really high in the air. I'll do the rest. Like, I'll get a ball to land in your glove. And then he's like, well, I don't know how to throw. And then he asks him, he's like, do you ever have a paper route? Did you pick up on that scene?
Yeah.
And he's like, I helped the guy once. And he's like, all right, so just when your arm gets here, just let it go. And I'm like, wow, people are really terrible at teaching in this movie. This is awful.
Well, doesn't he also say just you're thinking too much?
Yeah. He said like you would have caught it if you would have. Yeah, if you had fun, you would have caught it.
Yeah.
So then he basically hits a ball, lands smack dab in his glove, and then he whips it right back to the second base. And all of them are like, I never doubted this kid.
He's all right. He's all right.
Yeah, Squid's like, he's all right. He's all right. After he calls him, what does he say? The L7 weenie?
He calls an L7 weenie, which I assumed went L7 into the W.
Into the W.
It never did.
No.
It's always been L7. So
and then it's just like a frame.
Yeah, as a child, like a square.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a child, I've always thought it went into a W. And until I watched it again, it doesn't. So my whole life has been a sham.
Keith's been picking up the pieces pretty hard after this one.
So they play at the Sandlot. That's the main plot here, or the main stage.
If you guys didn't know, this movie was called The Sandlot.
Because they play in this big, open,
sandy
arid
lot.
desert of a baseball field that once was.
Yep.
It has a fence, like the great fence. What's the great? What's the green wall? At Fenway?
What, Wrigley Field? Is that what
at Fenway?
Fenway.
Is it the Monster?
I don't play.
It's called
baseball.
the Monster, right?
Sure.
Yeah, we're sports guys.
Yeah. I was Smalls growing up, basically. Did you ever play baseball growing up?
Yeah.
So like everyone did like the T-ball thing, you know?
Yeah, I did baseball up until like 7th grade or 8th grade or something.
That's usually where where people start to trail off.
But Olivia has found they give you like a player's card when you're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia found mine, and she's like, "I didn't know you were Simon Birch as a kid." And I was like, "I've looked at it, and I've looked at what Simon Birch looks like when he's in his batting pose, and I was like, oh no,
that's really unfortunate."
I was Simon Birch as a kid.
Were you good? Because I feel like I watched this movie, like me and my buddies, like when I played baseball for like the 3 seasons when I was like probably around their age. I remember sitting down a lot in the outfield, and that's not part of this.
Yeah, that's
sport.
what you do. My brother did that. You play with flowers out there. My mom was screaming at him.
Brett, get up! I was talking to my parents about it. We were talking about it a little bit ago, and apparently when they realized that like I probably should stop playing baseball, I used to put dirt in my glove, and then I would take the glove off my hand, which you're not supposed to do while you're playing, and then I would flip it over and put it on my head. I would just have and I would just be laughing to myself out in the outfield.
They're like, "Oh, your kid's dirty because he slid into home. My kid's dirty because he didn't even get on base, but he dumped the dirt on his head."
Yeah, you should just fill my glove up like to the brim with dirt, and then just bottoms up right on the head. And I don't know why, but I remember thinking like this is gonna be hilarious. I remember thinking like this is a funny bit when I was like 9.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's pretty funny, though.
The one year we did have a Sandlot team, I would call it, because, I mean, we were just like the team that never won. Like, nobody. Actually, I'd say the Sandlot, they're actually pretty good at baseball.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
But we were just like I don't know what team we were. We were just awful. And I remember we never had enough players, so we didn't have a catcher. So I was left-handed. They didn't have a left-hander's catcher's mitt, but they're like,
you'll figure it out.
So I'm just catching these balls in this little mitt. I did have like a mitt that was like his. It was like undersized. I had one mitt, and I never got another one. And it was undersized. My hand would just be swollen.
You'd be throbbing. Yeah, that's not great.
So I was not a catcher, but I became the catcher. And I remember like it was almost like I was playing a catcher on TV. Like it was like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I feel like our coach didn't know what was happening either. So, but I remember we won a game one time. And it was wild.
And it was you guys celebrating.
Because the other team was like, they all had like, I mean, everyone had uniforms. But
I was going to say, what? Did you guys playing in like bathing suits?
They just looked like they've played baseball. They had like batting practice. They did all like they kind of look like the team that the Sandlot plays.
That's pretty great.
Like actual team.
Yeah.
And I remember we beat them and it was like, it was wild.
It was like the scene in the Sandlot.
So mad.
That's pretty great. Good times.
It was the only time we ever did anything cool. I think we lost every other single game, but
that's fine. You had the most fun. But anyway.
Yeah, back to
so now
non-nonsense.
He's kind of like an official member. Small's like on the team. He's the 9th guy. They're talking about like just baseball terms and stuff like that. So they're all like meeting before one day, and this is where the only reason I'm talking about that is this is where the Babe Ruth scene comes up. And they're like, Ham's doing an impression. He's like, I'm the great Bambino.
But he's got, what is in his mouth? What is he have?
It's a bubblegum cigar.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they can't hear him. They're like, what?
They're like, what? He's like, I'm the great Bambino. And Smalls is like, who's that?
And they're just like.
And it's like record scratch. And then so then they have all the nicknames for him. We were trying to list all of them. It was
You nailed them.
I don't know if I got it. So it's the
King of Crash.
Well, the great Bambino.
Yeah.
The King of Crash. The Sultan of Swing. The Colossus of Clout. Because the repeat was good. And then I thought there was another one. I thought they had one more nickname for him.
There is one more.
Yeah. And then Smalls instantly saves it by saying, oh, I thought you said the great Bambi.
Everyone's like, what? No, you didn't. But they're like,
Ham
okay.
Goes, that wimpy deer? That's such a good line.
Well, I like how he just takes that, and then later he writes in his little list of things to remember about baseball, and he writes the Great Bambino.
The Great Bambino.
He has to figure him out. He still doesn't know that it's Babe Ruth.
But
at the same time, his stepfather has a Babe Ruth signed baseball in his little in his little museum room.
But he doesn't know that Babe Ruth is the Great Bambino because they keep only calling him by his nicknames.
And that comes into play.
That comes into play. Foreshadowing.
So
Ham hits a home run. He calls his shot like Babe Ruth, and that scene kills me every time.
He's pointing
his little bellies out, and then
he's got the Pooh Bear going on,
and then he just fucking crushes the ball. Home run, and then Smalls is in the outfield, and he's like, "No, don't worry, guys, I'll get it." And this is where you find out that like you don't go back into the backyard because of like the beast is what they call it. They claim that it was like it was. They get into I guess like a story about the beast, like the dog, and Squints tells him it's like in a net later scene. He's telling him yeah, I heard he killed like 100 people. And you're like, it's clearly something where it's just like more has been added to it every time he tells the story.
That black and white flashback of and the kid. But it just does remind me of being a kid where you just like, oh, I heard.
Yeah.
And then.
So it's the next day, and he's like, what is the beast? And this is the camp out scene when they're in the, where's it? In the jungle, yeah. That was my audition for American Idol next year.
Yeah, that was good. You should keep doing that. For sure.
That ruined.
So they have the camp out where it's where they start telling the story.
Yeah, they start talking about it, and this is the s'mores scene too, which is awesome.
And this is the first. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, this is like where it starts.
You're killing me, Smalls.
So yeah, what is the?
Oh my God! When he says, "Oh, would you like some s'mores?" He says, Ham says to him, "Like, you want some s'mores?" And he's like, some more of what?" And he's like, "No, would you like some s'mores?" And he's like, he says something like, "But I can't have any. I can't have any more if I haven't had any to start," or something like that. And you're like, what? And he's like, "No, s'mores." And he explains it to him and makes the s'mores.
You take the gram. And then he's like smacking the chocolate on there.
So you put the chocolate on?
Then you toast a mallow.
Mallow killed me.
Yeah,
I've never heard another human say mallow.
Really? I always say mallow.
Huh.
Like toasted mallow?
Is that because you wear glasses? That's why you say that? A marshmallow. I don't know. A marshy boy. I would call it a marshy boy before I call it a mallow.
That's wrong.
Is that wrong?
We're done.
Okay.
Hard cut in the episode.
Redact that. Anyway, so yeah, he makes the s'mores and then he shares it with him, which I've never seen two humans share a s'more before.
I didn't know that's not a
normal thing, right?
That's not like a family style meal. It's not.
He's like, when you're here,
it is not
you're
Applebee's.
My brother.
When you're here, we're sharing s'mores. And then so Squints tells him the story. So there's a line. He's basically saying like how he became, and it was his great grandfather was like the police chief at the time. He's just like bullshitting them the whole time. But there's a line where he says how many people. He's like, I heard that that the beast killed 174 guys. And you're like, what is that? Or 174, 170. But he says a super specific number. And so then they're like, yeah, once something goes over the fence, it's like the beast owns it. You're not getting it back, which is pretty great. And then is the next day? Is this when they go to the pool the next day?
Yeah, but like the set the scene of it. That wall is like a huge.
It's a pretty big fence, yeah,
like the green monster, and it's just like it's the scariest thing because they know the beast's on the other side.
There's like a bunch of like. I don't know, even just like there's a bunch of like shrubs and stuff like that near it, and it just looks. I feel like that back fence is like just a very iconic part of that movie.
So they're at the pool next. They all go to the pool. Because it's too hot. So they're all drinking Cokes under the little bleachers.
Yeah. Well, this is where you meet Wendy Peppercorn too when they're outside finding a new ball. My girl, apparently.
No, it's Squint's girl.
And Squints he's embarrassing himself. He is staring. He points at her. Did you notice that? He's like, Wendy Peppercorn, and points right at. And I'm like, bro. She could see you right now. You dial it back, bud.
So Wendy Peppercorn is the iconic lifeguard.
Lifeguard.
I couldn't think of the word of what you do. She's got the red suit on. She's up on the stand.
I don't know why, but I wanted to go Shauna for some reason.
It does seem like it's going to fit there.
It's similar vibe. So she's the lifeguard, the local lifeguard, and Squints is Squints is what I just said. It's like his that's his girl, man. He's Wendy Peppercorn,
and she is easily 7 years older than him.
Oh yeah, it's pretty wild.
Well, so they're probably 10. She's probably 15 or 16 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I would probably somewhere around there. I did like, this is the first, I think he does this a couple times, but when he Squints takes his glasses off and wipes them on his shirt really fast, that just kills me.
Yeah, because you do that, right? Because you have glasses. No, I'm just kidding. That's so stupid.
I love this.
I used to wear glasses all the way up until
this
22
episode
or something like that.
And then now you're cutting this bit.
I got a little eye surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have laser eye surgery?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was probably 22 or something.
Man, I'm all factory parts up in here, baby. Up in my eyes. Because they put something in there, right? No, they just cut.
They laser it out.
They laser it out.
They resurface your eyes or something.
Wow.
Something like that. I don't know.
We are not.
I was wearing sunglasses for a week. Anyways, yeah. Peppercorn on the stand.
So they're at the pool. It's too hot. All of them go to the pool. Ham kills me when he's walking by all of the. He's like, we really like to go to the pool to check out all the pool babes.
Scamming on pool babes.
Yeah, he's walking by. He's like, he's like, little chubby kid. He's like, ladies, how you doing? Oh, I remember you. Like, he's just. I was losing it at that scene.
And then he hits the cannonball. Oh, the flex. Yeah, he does the Boston crab flex, and then does the cannonball.
Yeah.
All the girls are up and just pissed.
And that scene kills me. And you see it flashes. He's like, no, but the real reason we're here, Wendy Peppercorn was the lifeguard. And then it turns the music changes. I thought that was really funny. So they're all kind of like standing in a small group looking at her, and then Squints decides. He says, "I've been coming here." He says something. He's like, "I've been sitting here watching her all my adult life," or something like that. That kills me. So he decides to go to the deep end, go on the diving board, jump off. He cannot swim because he's basically like, "This is it. We're gonna do it."
The noise it makes when he goes off the diving board is like a little doing.
Yeah,
he weighs like 38 pounds.
Yeah. So he's under there. Wendy jumps off, pulls him out, and he is unconscious in quotes. So she starts giving him like mouth to mouth, and then they're super worried. And then the last one, she goes down, gives him mouth to mouth, and then he looks up at them with this little dipshit smile, and they're like, "What?" And then he goes in and kisses her. And as soon as he does that, it's this magic moment, which is just it was pretty funny.
And then he gets ejected from the pool, and it's like this montage of people all running, like something crazy just happened, and he gets thrown out. And don't you come back? Stay out. That's what it is.
And then he was like, I've been planning this for years. But I did think it was funny. They wrapped it up by saying like we were kicked out of the pool. He's something to the effect of like we were banned for life from the pool that day. But every time we walked by, Wendy would look down right at Squints and smile at him. And I was like, that's pretty funny. Like I just like that whole scene. That is like, I would say that's like the, if you had to pick like a couple scenes from The Sandlot, that was definitely like one of the scenes from that movie. You know what I mean? And that so now
the ball going over the fence.
Ball going over the fence, yeah.
That whole thing, and then this is like the scene. Like even if you haven't seen this movie,
this is this scene.
Yeah. You've seen this on like some kind of clip or
somewhere. So there's kind of, I guess, two parts to this movie. It's before the pickling and after. It's what, like, before he hits the ball over and after. So we're kind of in the before side of it. So it wraps it up with I'm going to say the before part. It's 4th of July night. This is their first night game. I think this scene's really important because they kind of highlight how dedicated Benny was to the sport. So they're playing a night game, bunch of fireworks going off, and all of them are looking at it. But Benny is like still like, guys, he's like still playing baseball. And I think that was just like, I like that scene a lot because it sets the frame for all these kids are friends with each other, but Benny was like baseball was his life, which I thought was really cool. And then the next day, the rival Little League team comes up and is I don't know why did they show up there at the Sandlot? Do you remember why?
Oh, I think it's just kids doing what kids do.
They just showed up and they were talking shit.
Yeah, it's like local kids like, oh yeah, we'll play you guys.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh yeah.
he has the Ham. They're like trading insults back and forth.
Oh my god, this line of insults
is brutal. And then it ends with the famous "You play ball like a girl,"
and everyone's like, "Oh!" Not that there's anything wrong with that, but in 1993, as a kid, I'm sure that was
I'm sure that was a big time roast back then. It's iconic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's iconic. So they beat the crap out of this other team, and Ham is killing me in that scene where he's like catching the ball.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's like, "Who's that? Is that your sister in the outfield?" Who's that? She's naked.
He's like, "Stop talking."
He's like, "I'm just trying to get a little friendly conversation." Hey.
Oh, and then he also does the point when he goes to the bat.
Yeah, he does it again. So they beat them. They decide to celebrate. They get some chewing tobacco. Bertram brings chewing tobacco, and then they go on just like a carnival ride, and they all violently throw up.
Yeah, they go on like a tilt-a-whirl or something, right?
Yeah, they all throw up, and that's where the song like the tequila. There's so many scenes. Like, I didn't realize there's a lot of songs in this movie specifically that like when I hear them, I always think of the Sandlot, and like this is definitely one of those songs.
Yeah, like our parents would think of it as like, "Oh, I know the song because so and so sung it," but we think of it as like, "Oh, I remember it from this."
I remember
scene.
when Smalls and the gang swallowed chewing tobacco and threw up at a carnival. So now it's the next day. They all got very sick. Benny crushes a home run. Well, he said the next day like would get us into the biggest pickle. And he said it all started with an omen. So Benny crushes a ball and knocks the guts out of the baseball. And they're basically like, holy shit. Like there's only like in professional baseball, this has only happened a couple times. So that's basically they I don't know what's the inside is. It's like it's like a rubbery.
It's like a hard. I think it's hard rubberized kind of some sort of material, and then it's like wrapped and stitched in like a cloth, like a thick cloth.
Yeah. So he basically busts open the cloth part of it, and so they need a new ball. Smalls decides like, oh, I know where we can get a ball. You find out that what's his stepdad's name?
Bill.
That big Bill is off on business for the week, which Emily and I were like, is he going to see another family?
I think he is.
Oh, definitely.
It's Dennis Leary. He's a scumbag. Sorry if you're listening, Dennis.
I bet he wears glasses.
No. Dude like that's not wearing glasses for sure.
No, never in his life.
2 wives, no glasses.
Is that the rule?
I don't know.
You got to get that on a shirt.
We're just making things up as we go here. I'm still saying this is your movie because you wear glasses. That makes no sense.
That's pretty funny, though. So he grabs the Babe Ruth ball because it just looks like a normal baseball. And he's like, oh, yeah, we'll play with this and I'll bring it back. It's no big deal. They get back, and it is now, since Squints brought the ball, he's like, all right, you're up. Like, you're up to bat. You brought the ball. He pitches the ball, and, like, out of nowhere, this kid has sucked at baseball up until this very moment. Absolutely crushes this home run, and the Babe Ruth ball goes over the fence.
Yeah, there's no coaching. Just have fun, and all of a sudden you can play baseball.
Yeah, you can do anything. Just have fun.
You don't think. Don't think.
Don't think.
Oh, man.
Have fun.
You imagine if that's what this kid would be told when he had to go learn how to drive. Don't think.
Just have fun out there.
Just have fun out there.
He's doing donuts in the middle of the highway. So he crushes it. They're basically like, I got to get this ball back. It wasn't mine. And then he said, some lady signed it. It was Baby Ruthie. And they all find out that it was a ball signed, in fact, by Babe Ruth.
Because at this point, he still doesn't know the great Bambino is Babe Ruth.
Yeah. So he wrote it down in his goddamn journal, and he has no idea still. I think this is on him. So now they realize, shit, we do need to get this ball back. So then it's like one of several methods that they find, and every day this part of the movie is like they're just trying to get the ball back. So it doesn't really see. Are they playing baseball much?
I think at this point they don't have a ball.
So that's it.
So they're just trying to get their ball back.
Yeah. Well, and because it's Babe Ruth too.
It's Babe Ruth's ball.
So they're basically like, all right, no more baseball until we get this. So there's a bunch of different methods. I'm trying to remember.
I just remember the bungee and then the success one. There is it's like a montage though, right?
Yeah, there's
we just watch this. How are we not? I don't know.
So there's I think in no particular order, they have the suction method with the vacuums.
Yeah.
So they have that. I think the first one they try is I think it's maybe his erector set is what he uses. Oh no, they have the little scoop. It's like a bucket on a stick that they try and put through the fence to cup over the ball. That doesn't work. So the beast like stomps on that. And all of these scenes, like all these failed attempts is just like, is so great. All of them crack me up.
And the size of the beast's paw is
comically big.
It is so big.
So they have that one, which I thought was really funny. They had the Erector set where they built the little like track with this little car, which also, did you play with Erector sets?
Yeah.
They were awesome. I don't know when they stopped making those. I don't know if they still do make them, but I remember those were pretty great. So they had that one. They try and like launch it up to catch it. That doesn't work. The beast like jumps up in front of the ball and like swallows it, like, which I thought was great. They had the bungee method. They put on. They timed this rig and like lower him down. There was another one. Oh, the vacuum method, which I just said. They basically tie a bunch of fucking... What kind of vacuums were they? I don't know. Why don't you know that?
I don't know.
I don't want to be around
I
anymore.
think I blanked out on.
I don't know. So yeah, they basically try and like suction the ball up through a bunch of like vacuums, and none of them work. So in actually the vacuum one. So out of all of these, what one was your favorite?
Probably the bungee one because it's just so ridiculous.
That's the only reason why.
It's just I don't know. That one was just like, that one just seems most wild and impractical. Like how they actually got him up on the bungee and over the fence.
And they like lowered him down. I thought they were all really fun though.
Yeah,
I also that tree house that they have, that thing's awesome.
Oh yeah,
I love a tree house.
Did you have a tree house?
We had a tree that we could climb, and there was like a platform. We never had like an official like house though, like never official tree house. But I mean, like growing up, I mean, did you do this? Like we would go build forts and stuff like that in the woods and
no tree house, but we would build we would try to build what we would call wild forts.
Yeah. I would love to do that now. Could you imagine? It's like us and a couple buddies being like, we're going to go build a fort. I think they get suspicious now. Like if you're a kid, they're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if you're our age, being like, we're getting off the grid, they're like, all right, Ted Kaczynski,
I feel like
why don't you calm down?
Get done that, I want to be back in the air conditioning.
It's
like, all right, this is cool. There's no AC out here though, so I'm gonna go back
this is super
inside.
cool. I got bit by a ton of bugs for a shitty house, and now I want to go in. Which that's pretty good. And then all these plans fail. And then Benny has a dream one night. He's visited by Babe Ruth, which, did you see who played Babe Ruth?
Oh, yeah, I have it. It's Art LaFleur.
Art LaFleur? He kind of looked familiar, but I couldn't remember why.
He's in a bunch of stuff before this.
Yeah.
Like a ton of like action movies before this. But yeah, okay, he was in the 88 Blob.
Oh, that's pretty cool. The Blob, the 1988 Blob. Did they film that at Colonial? Did they do anything there at the Colonial?
No, I think
we've talked about
it. Was just the 58 Blob.
We talked about we shout out to the Colonial Theater again. They filmed the 1958 Blob there, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so he has a dream from Babe Ruth where the famous line of "Heroes get remembered, but legends never die," which that's so cool. I love that whole line. He's basically saying that like, oh, you lost your ball, like go over and get it. Just go over and get it, which I thought was I thought that was a pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of silly now that you think about it, but he says, heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Follow your heart, kid, and you'll never go wrong. Which that's a really good line. That's another like iconic Sandlot line. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just letting you talk.
Oh, it looked like you were trying to say something.
Oh no, I was just looking. I was like,
you were just staring. You're just taking it all in.
Well, I was giving you the and then eyes.
Keith hasn't blinked in 25 minutes.
No, I was giving you the and then eyes.
And then
like
and then bow now bow. No. Anyway, dump that. So the next day, he says that he's going to go over there and get the ball. And this is he pulls out a pair of PF flyers, like a fresh pair of PF flyers. And they said, "Do you remember the line that he said there about the PF flyers?" He was like, he's like a shoe that could make a kid run faster and jump higher. PF flyers. I just thought that was.
They look
so
exactly like Chuck Taylor's to me.
Yeah, I mean they basically are. But there was a buddy of mine that used to wear PF flyers all the time, and I think it was because of this movie. But I mean, they seem like they're pretty comfortable shoes. You can still buy them, like the ones that he wears in that movie. I mean, they sell them. They still sell PF Flyers.
I used to call them banana sneakers.
Banana sneakers? Why?
I don't know why. They always remind me of banana peels.
Okay.
Like Converse and those. I don't know why.
Banana peels.
I don't know.
Do you have a pair? Do you have any pairs of those shoes, like Converse?
No,
or anything
Olivia
like that?
wears the. She has some white ones that she likes. I don't know.
Yeah, I personally blame Chuck Taylor for ruining my knees.
Yeah,
I would say
you rock the Chucks.
I wore Chucks like no support shoes for all of my life, and it was mainly just like Vans and Chuck Taylors. But I think it's probably done some permanent damage along the way. Shout out to Chuck Taylors if you want to sponsor us for we're around.
Shout out to Chuck Taylors.
Shout out to Chuck Taylors, the shoe, any shoe. So he gets a pair of PF Flyers, and then he basically jumps over the fence and gets the ball. But the dog breaks loose, and then it's a great chase scene.
Oh, yeah, this scene's
throughout.
Awesome.
Yeah, do you want so?
Oh yeah, so it basically chases him all the way through town. Like I don't even remember all the places it goes through, but he's ripping through it. The dog is ripping through everything.
Yeah,
and then they get to Is this still 4th? No, it's not 4th of July. It's
the I can't remember. Oh, like the event that they're. It's some kind of parade.
This is how I knew what year it was, because it's the 1962
something.
It's for the town. I can't believe I can't think of what it is. I was like, oh yeah, I'll remember that because it says it on the cake.
Yeah,
it says it on the cake. It's a huge,
the big like
huge
10-foot tall cake,
and it says what the event is on the cake. Everyone's all those dudes are dressed up, and the dog comes through, hits the cake. Cake comically flies in the air and lands on the guys that are holding it.
And then they loop back around. Don't they eventually loop back around to the Sandlot, right?
Right. Well, all the kids, other than Benny, who's getting chased by the dog only wants Benny.
What kind of? It was the dog's a Saint Bernard, right? By the way,
yeah.
Because they show it like kind of comically as like this big.
No,
costume.
English Mastiff.
English Mastiff.
That's not the same thing, right?
No, I don't think that's the same. Oh no, I guess. No, yeah, it is an English Mastiff.
Yeah, it's not a Saint Bernard.
Yeah, it is an English Mastiff. Which I love that. I think
they're
dog
heavier.
They're heavier than a Saint Bernard. I mean, they are big dogs.
Yeah.
They loop back to the Sandlot. He basically says like, "Go back to the Sandlot." He runs past all the other boys.
Yeah, so he goes the long way, and they go the short way, so they're there.
Right to the Sandlot.
Yeah, so they're all there waiting, and they're like, "Where is he?" And then they see him.
And then they see
sprinting.
Yeah, with this big dog following him. Benny jumps over the fence. The dog kind of runs through the fence. That's what it is, and then ends up falling on the dog. They instantly are like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, the whole fence falls.
The whole fence falls on him,
which is wild.
So this is the part I think Smalls is the first one to be like, hey, we got to get this, like, the dog's hurt, we got to get this thing off of him. So him and Benny lift the gate off of him, which I thought the dog did a really good job. I know there was like a lot of actors, but I was like, look at that dog, just like making a living.
You're right though, because the dog actually looks injured when it's laying there. Obviously they didn't injure the dog.
Just like laid it.
I hope they didn't injure the dog.
There wasn't a disclaimer.
But yeah, they just laying there on side like looks sad and hurt.
Yeah,
and they pick it up, and then the dog gets up and
it ends up licking Smalls' face, and they're like, "Oh, this dog's cool."
It could eat it. But this movie's not Cujo, so it didn't get rabid.
Could you imagine that if they finished it and the dog just mauls Smalls to death on screen, and then the credits just roll out?
They're like, "Oh yeah, we had to change the plot of this movie. The dog actually doesn't like them, and they don't meet the baseball player that lives here." And
and the narrator is just like.
Oh yeah, it's him.
Yeah, it ends up being him.
So is he alive then?
But you find out the narrator is just like his eulogy. No, that was stupid. So they get the ball. They find out the dog's name is Hercules. They meet the owner, played by James Earl Jones. And he has a great line where he was like, "We got our ball. Our ball came over here." And James Earl Jones just goes, "Why didn't you just tell me? I would have got it."
Yeah, why didn't you just knock on the door?
And and all of them are like, "Squints, you fucking dipshit." Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you only find out Squints.
This whole movie would have been fine. They could have had a baseball coach.
Yeah, they would have been absolutely
happens to be
fine.
blind, but somehow probably would be an awesome baseball coach. He just seems like it would be.
Just Squints was like, "Nah, I'm telling you, dudes, 500 people have been killed by this dog." So you find out that he brings the ball inside, and he tells them that it was signed by Babe Ruth. James Earl Jones is blind. He says, he ends up saying, like, "I got a trade for you." And he pulls out a ball that was signed by the entire 1927 New York Yankees, including Babe Ruth. And you find out that he was like, "Oh, Babe Ruth signed this? Or the kid's like, oh, it's signed by Babe Ruth. And he goes, George signed this? And you find out that he actually knew Babe Ruth because he was like a really big baseball player, but he ended up going blind because he took a pitch to the head, which probably sucked.
So I think he was on the same team.
Yeah. So that's why he basically had all this inside. They have all this awesome like baseball memorabilia, a bunch of signed stuff. He has like a bunch. I think it's like an old picture of him with Babe Ruth. So he offers to trade him. I guess the only thing is he was like, the only way we can trade is that like if you come by and talk with me about baseball once a week to like the two boys.
I'm like, no, dude, we're not coming in your house again.
Yeah. So that was my thought too. I was like, man. It was literally just like James Earl Jones was just like, boys, come on in.
Come on in. I made some lemonade.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, yeah, obviously we have to go in this guy's house. Could you imagine if they filmed that today?
Also, does everyone have a baseball room?
Apparently. It was like there was
nothing else
classic
going on.
America.
Like, oh, what do you like? Baseball? Cool. Make a room for it. Gonna cut the grass and watch baseball.
And watch baseball. And go on out of town
ignore
for
your
business. Kid. And that's basically it. Yeah. It was wild.
Ignore your kid.
Man, that must have been so boring back in those days.
Your wife's going to have a pot roast for you.
At all times.
And you'll be in the baseball room when the pot roast is done.
When the pot roast is done.
But yeah, also the thing about the baseball is, and I don't know for this baseball because the 1927 Yankees is probably an expensive baseball, but I know when you have a single signature is worth way more than if you have an entire team.
So I looked that up. Yeah, they think like now, like today, if you had both of those baseballs, the Babe Ruth one would be worth double what the whole Yankees
I was going to see at least that. Because that's the thing is like people will get excited like, oh yeah, I got it signed by the whole team. They're like, no, I don't want that. I want
because if for every like he calls out, he's like, yeah, Babe Ruth, and then it's like he calls out Lou Gehrig and stuff like that. But then it was like then a whole bunch of other guys that like don't get me wrong, they were probably amazing baseball players, and if you actually like baseball, you know the history, you know the teams, you probably really would enjoy it. But like everyone knows the name Babe Ruth. So
what if the kids were like, no way, old man, we know it's not worth the same. It's like, well, I have a shredded Babe Ruth, or
and he's like, I don't know, you're gonna have to sweeten it for us. Like you're trying to make a deal right now.
What else you got? You got anything else in here? You got any bats?
Benny's trying to rip the pictures off the wall in the background. Like he's blind, he won't see us.
He's like, I hear everything.
I hear you're talking.
I'm like
loud.
Batman.
I am Daredevil. So he ends up he fesses up to his stepdad. Did that line get you?
It's like, I don't know. Batman's not blind, but I thought it'd be funny because he's a bat.
He's a Batman.
But
yeah,
the Daredevil got me. It was good.
Yeah, I'm glad. So he says Bill ends up grounding Smalls for a week for taking the signed ball, but like the dad, you see him unwrap the ball and he's like, whoa, I definitely got to stop talking to this other family now. He's like, they haven't got me anything.
he's like, wait, my kid just got me a Babe Ruth. He got me a 1927 Yankee signed ball.
Yeah.
Oh, this kid's not that bad. He can't catch.
Like,
he's not bad.
He can't play catch off of no instructions.
You should see the other dipshit I have to hang out with on Wednesdays. That kid's useless.
That kid sucks. He can't even get me the paper. That's so stupid. So, but he ends up starting to call him Dad in the end, which I thought was kind of neat. So it ends with him, with Smalls talking about, like, they all stayed together for years after that. Like, they all lived in the same area. They continued to play baseball with the Beast, which is Hercules was his name, which I thought was, I like he's wearing the little shirt that says Hercules on it, the dog. It's just like sitting there. I was like, they didn't need to do that, but that's fine. And yeah, they kind of just go on from there. It ends, the very end of the movie, which I like when movies do this. It's like a where are they now type of thing. So it's clear that he's talking, like it's an adult narrating it the whole time. It's like Smalls grown up. So he says that Yaya goes to join the army, and then he would later develop bungee jumping. So Keith, this was your favorite, I guess, method that they tried. They basically tied Yaya up like he would be bungee jumping. So it's kind of like pretty fitting. Bertram, this is my favorite one, the dude that brought them the chewing tobacco. They just said he got really into the 60s and no one's heard of him since. So I don't know what the hell that means. Timmy and Tommy invented mini malls, which I thought was kind of weird.
I forget what they did something first, and then
they
ended up
playhouses, because I think they actually built that playhouse like next to. Oh no, because that was already there. So I think that was their playhouse. I think is what you are supposed to get out of that.
They
make like
prefabricated playhouses, and then they invent mini malls,
which I thought was like okay. And then Squints marries Wendy Peppercorn, and how many kids do they have? They have 9 kids. They have 9 kids, and they bought a little local pharmacy, like where basically right outside of where Squints sees her for the first time in this movie. Ham becomes a professional wrestler under the name The Great Hambino, which is amazing. And then it's funny that he's also ends up being in the TV show Glow. It's about.
I figured they had to do that on purpose.
I would, yeah.
They had to. They'd be like, oh yeah, Great Hambino.
You guys are gonna love this. Then who else do we have? De Nunez plays AAA baseball, and his is kind of like the most realistic one. It's like he did all right in baseball. He played minor league for a little bit, but then he's just like coaches, has a family, seems really happy. And then Benny earns the nickname the Jet after like pickling the beast is what they call it. So pickling is like if you're in between, which I didn't know this was like a real baseball thing.
Oh yeah,
if you're between two people. Yeah, I didn't. I guess I never knew where that came from.
That's like a whole subplot of this movie. Is it starts out with Benny in a pickle, and he outwits both people.
Yeah, and then he has to pickle the beast.
Pickles the beast, but he pickles another time.
At the very end, he pickles again. Why is it called pickling?
When you get in a pickle, like I don't know why.
I mean, I get it.
You've never heard? Oh, I'm in a real pickle.
I say it all the time, but I don't know where it comes from.
In baseball, I don't know why. But
why are you like? Oh, between, obviously there's
like
2...
second and third or third and home.
Yeah,
and you get caught in between, and you have to like outwit them. Usually, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
usually grown men are better at chasing someone down.
At counter pickling.
Yeah, but somehow he evades every pickle in this movie.
Yeah, man. But anyway, so he earns his nickname the Jet, and then you find out that he is a professional. He says his nickname carried him all the way through, and then you find out that he is he plays for the Dodgers. Benny plays for the Dodgers as Benny the Jet Rodriguez. And then you see that Smalls becomes a sports commentator for the Dodgers, so they're kind of giving play-by-plays of it. And then it ends with Benny looking up at Smalls, and they give each other a thumbs up, which I thought that was just like a really cool way to end the movie. And he's still wearing that dipshit hat.
Oh, my God.
That hat, the brim is the size of Texas, and I don't know where he got it, and it makes me angry.
Yeah, it's like Polo makes hats like that. Like,
it's so dumb. Why is the brim so wide?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of hat that is.
But it has like just like a fish on it. It is
the worst hat of all time. I like how it sucks. Benny gives him another hat at one point because he's like, "You gotta."
Well, he says, I think the line is, he says, "Do you guys have a fireplace?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Yeah, throw that hat in there."
He's like, "I don't have another hat." And he's like, and he gives him his old hat. I'm like, "Oh, this is a cute little story. This is nice."
And he tells him to go burn his clothes.
He's like, "Yeah, wear a t-shirt and shorts or something."
Yeah, he's wearing like a tucked-in collared shirt to play baseball.
But David Mickey Evans, he actually is the writer and director, but he also is the narrator. So
is he?
He does the voice of the adult Scott Smalls, yeah.
So the adult actor only has like a couple lines.
Then Arliss Howard actually plays him. Like that's not the... So when you see him at the end, that's actually... He was in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I think he's in a couple other things. Oh, yeah, Natural Born Killers.
So he was in this was funny. So the kid that plays younger Smalls, like the kid Smalls throughout it, there was a movie that came out that was like I think it was like a direct-to-streaming movie, and it was called Killing Smalls. Have you ever heard about that?
Killing Smalls? No.
Killing Smalls. It's about the mafia trying to kill the main character, whose name is Smalls in this movie, but he also played Smalls in this movie. And it's called Killing Smalls.
What?
Yeah, it's not great. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I thought that would be kind of funny.
Killing Smalls.
Killing Smalls. Yeah, are you looking it up?
Is it called Killing Smalls with a Z?
Yeah, Killing Smalls with a Z.
It came out last year?
Isn't that pretty wild?
What the hell?
Yeah, so Keith's just looking this up.
It does have
blown his
It's
mind.
not even it wasn't even on his Wikipedia page. I had to go to IMDb and just look for this.
It's not great.
What the fudge is happening here? This is wild.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's they did do this.
Sure did.
Huh.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about after we're
I just the plot? Like out of this era, the movies that came out were awesome. Like this and Rookie of the Year came out the same year.
Yeah.
Another
Henry Rodengartner, is that him?
Sure.
Rookie of the Year.
Sounds
it's
right.
about the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He breaks his arm,
and then it's like.
He has that like.
Yeah.
Epic scene with the 90-degree cast.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hi, Billy. Hi, Henry." And they're all putting their arm. That's so mean.
And then what came out the next year? Angels in the Outfield came out the next year.
Yeah,
that was good. But as far as kids movies, the Little Giants and
there's like a trilogy of them, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean it's not really, but I just was like I always associate the Sandlot, Little Giants for football, and then the Big Green. Also has,
I've never seen that one.
What's his name? He plays Ham. We just talked about it. Renna.
I always picture the Mighty
Patrick
Ducks.
Renna. He plays the goalie in the Big Green. You would like that.
I feel
it's
like
a
I
fun
would
movie.
Like that. Yeah.
You like kicking and screaming?
I do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
good.
So then the
Mighty
Ducks.
Ducks. Yeah.
And then what's his name? Benny plays in. He's in D2 and T3.
Who does he play in that?
I just had the name up. Luis Mendoza.
That's pretty good.
Because he moves there, I think, in D2. He's like the new kid.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure, right?
So he's the Smalls in D2?
I think so. I mean, I haven't seen those movies, and I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
94, 96 were those two. What else? There's a bunch of more, like, kids' sports movies. Well, you got Little Rascals, which kind of reminds me of this. It's not sports, but...
Yeah, it's similar, I think. Another, like, gang of kids movies. I feel like The Goonies is also in this vein.
Yeah. And then Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. It was just
the junkyard scene in Stand By Me. I would always get that confused with the Sandlot. Like,
yeah,
it's not a junkyard, but you know,
it's very similar. Like, it's a very similar vibe, I think.
But yeah, it's great. Just a coming of age.
We love them.
I love a narrated coming of age.
Yeah, the Sandlot. This is always one of those movies where it's. I mean, if you look at it again, I think like the scene with like Squints and stuff like that. I know, like I think with Wendy at the pool, I think. Today people are like, I mean, that's not good that he did that, but this has always been like just like a super comfort movie. Like,
yeah, he was a kid, and it was 1993. It was taking place in the 60s.
But I know
way different. Yeah, you're not going to make that scene now.
No. I think what was I going to say? I think I remember there was an issue with that scene somewhere. Oh, is Sable coming in?
Sable's coming in here. I heard a
little tip taps.
Wait, there's an issue with that scene?
Yeah, like I remember there was I thought there was like a lawsuit with that scene, like a while ago, like a very long time ago. I'm trying to see if I can. Oh yeah, so someone sued 20th Century Fox and the producers. They said the dude that sued them was a childhood classmate of the director. And he claimed that Squints was derogatory and caused him shame and humiliation. Like that he was basically just like embarrassed by that character and like that whole scene. That's pretty wild.
Is it based on him?
I don't know.
How is that? What? What?
I just remember there was a lawsuit. I remember hearing that there was a lawsuit about this. It was in 1998. I don't know. Maybe it was based on him or something like that. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I don't know. That was stupid. I wish that we didn't need it.
No, I mean, I'm always down for a little
lawsuit.
Yeah, a little lawsuit. No, that's weird, dude.
That is weird. But anyway,
I think everybody else had fun.
Yeah, I guess this is just this one dude that was like, I mean,
ashamed. You wear glasses. You're fine, right?
I didn't.
So dumb.
That's pretty funny though. You wear glasses.
What did I say yesterday? I mean, yeah, you look kind of like Buddy Holly.
Oh yeah, you kept
But then you got a haircut, so you don't.
Then I don't.
You don't really look like Buddy Holly. You just have glasses.
That was it.
That was it.
What do you?
You got the horn rimmed glasses. I don't know. I don't even remember what came up, but I was like, yeah, you look like Buddy Holly, and you're like,
I think we were talking about like I think someone said I was wearing I think I was wearing my cactus shirt or something. Someone's like, oh yeah, who's that guy in like the cactus shirt? And you're like, yeah, it's the dude. He looks like Buddy Holly. And I was like, what?
Yeah, like ooh wee ooh. He looks just like Buddy Holly.
That was tough.
Is that good?
Yeah, that was the Weezer song.
That was
shout out to Weezer.
Somebody told me I look like Ethan Embry one time.
Who's that?
He was in Empire Records, Idle Hands. He's just like a '90s.
He's been in a lot,
but like not that I look like. Yeah, you remind me of Ethan Embry. He's not in Idle Hands. Wait, what? Hold on a second. He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, is this really? Was he in the Sand? Wait, who is this guy?
No, I was just saying because you look like
okay.
I was
like our celebrity
I've ever had is, but I would say if I do look like him, I look like we were in the same womb and I didn't get any of the vitamins. He's not Idle Hands. I'm sorry, he's not Idle Hands. That's Devin Sawa. Empire Records. He's Rusty in Vegas Vacation.
Oh, okay.
Can't Hardly Wait. Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff, but I was told that I think it's because I have dead eyes, and he has dead eyes. Yeah, no, I really think it is. Like, yeah, you look like him, and I looked at him. I was like, well, he does have dead eyes.
Well, he does have those classic
sunken
dead eyes,
just like I do. But I look like a Walmart replica. You know what I mean?
Walmart brand,
like a good value boy.
A good value. I will say, I did look like Squints growing up.
Yeah, that's why I said this movie's for you.
Huge ears. That's not. Why is that for me though? Because you're like, oh, obviously.
I mean, I was probably like Timmy and Tommy, so like
both of them in
probably one. Just annoying.
Now you look like one of those cartoon burglars in the black and white scene, I think.
Dude, I like that because that reminds me. That scene reminds me of Christmas Story.
Oh yeah. They're basically like, I think we talked about this scene. We did talk about this scene, but it's like a black and white, and there's like three like comically like stereotypical burglars with like the eye mask on and like the stripy shirt and like a sack.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, can you get us as close to the Hamburglar as possible? I'm not sure if McDonald's or the burglar came out first, but the Hamburglar is like the standard.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say they definitely. While they were writing this, they were like, and these guys, who do they look like? And someone was like, the Hamburglar, obviously. And they were like, where there's going to be a lawsuit, you can't formally say that. So it just says burglar. Anyway, that's so stupid. But did you have anything else for this movie?
No, I just think it's a fun movie, and I feel like it's a perfect summer movie.
Yeah.
For some reason, the movie just feels hot the whole time you're watching it. It's like arid.
It does.
Like they don't have water there or something.
No running.
Drink soda.
Not a single drop. Oh yeah, they're drinking like sugary soda in the heat. That would make my little tummy upset. But I guess that's why I wouldn't have been alive back then. Anyway. Do you look like you wanted to respond to that? I just
don't even know what to say back to that.
I don't know. Should we wrap this one up?
Yeah, wrap it, dump it, seal it, sign, deliver it.
All right, that was The Sandlot. That was our bumbling through of The Sandlot. Yeah, be sure to follow us on all our little social medias and stuff. We've gotten a decent amount of reviews, so we appreciate that. Yeah, share us around, and we want to hear from you guys. So until next time.